delete that. And then, of course, let me turn off the music on Spotify so I don't get hit. And we're off. What's going on, y'all? What's up, YouTube? How's it going? We've got Bookmap right up here. Most of the liquidity here is on 40.30. We've got a bunch of liquidity up at 4,100, which is also pretty common. And then we've got the 4,000 level, which is also common, the 0.0 levels. What's up, Damien? How you doing? All right, so I'll be looking somewhere in the ballpark of 4,000. I'm going to stay away from the 40-10 puts because obviously I'm still holding that. So if I scalp any additional positions, I don't want to mess with my original positions here. So I'll be sticking with 4,000s probably. I'll probably going down with 4,000 or maybe even 40-20s. And then up above we'll be doing like 40-30 or 40-40 calls. And I'll let you know what I decide. So, all right. Let's see. There's the bell right there. Everything is red on my watch list except for oil and the VIX. The VIX is up to 27, another 6.26%. Beautiful. And our puts are up, currently priced at, what, 12 bucks at the moment, which is not nearly as much as what they were earlier. So that kind of stinks, but so be it. So be it. Coming on down here, let's see. First little red dump down to S1, 40.23. And let's see. Green on XLF after gapping down to touch, but they're pretty much flat. Not a lot of movement. Google's coming off. Tesla's green. Apple's green. Microsoft is red. Amazon is slightly green and bouncing. And not quite getting down to S1 just yet. Look at the liquidity they've got here on Bookmap. Bookmap's got this liquidity here at 40.20 and then 40.40. Let's see here. Premiums are big old bottom. Like flip that candle green. Premiums are still juiced. Yep, they're not quite as low as what they were Tuesday, Wednesday, but they are still elevated. Probably about 50% elevated from what they were as Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. So we had a nice little red candle. They bottom wicked it, flipped to green, back to R1. And that is incredibly disappointing for these puts. They were up substantially, and now they're all the way down to only 25, 30%, considering they were almost 200% at 10 o'clock last night. All right, coming back up, we have a large level right here. We also have R1. Green is Amazon. We have green on Microsoft. We have green on Apple. And still kind of chugging along here. Seeing if we could break out of this particular range right here. And I'm looking at current, I'll be looking at 40 calls and then 40-20 puts. So about 10 up, 10 down. What's going on YouTube? How's everybody going? What's up, B NATO, Will, Maddie? How you doing? So this candle here can't really figure out what it wants to do. It's both green and red. I'm going to switch over to the 5-minute just to kind of see, although we haven't printed a 5-minute candle yet. And back to the 3. Tech is trickling up a little bit. We got Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple both have a green candle. Right back up to R1. Taking a look at the bonds here. Bonds gapped down significantly, but then they're trickling back up. Yields popped. The 2-year went way up. You know, the 2-year spiked up to new 52-week highs. I think the 3.47 is where it kind of fizzled out at, which is another huge, big old pop there. We have bottom wick. They flipped that candle green, closed it green right here on R1. Still looking at the 40-40 calls to the upside and then 40-20 puts to the downside. And then we've got 4,000. We had 40-40. So liquidity is kind of spread out here. They have a little bit of this action down here in the mid to lower 4,000s. And with the overarching level being at 4,000, with this main level at 40-40 above us. And I don't really see anything being added to the upside. In fact, they removed 40.65 that was there. So keep an eye here on liquidity. No, that could potentially be the case here. And we're looking at, if anything to the upside, we're looking for the gap fill, of course, which is right up here in the, that 40-40 area on SPY, because there's a lot of magnetism to the upside here. That's not really looking good for the old puts. In fact, right there, my puts just went negative after being up almost 200% last night. So big old green candle here to R2. I'm looking at calls. Let's go 40-40 calls. Maybe scalp these to the upside here. That's a big old move from 40.16 up to 40.35. Yep, I'm still holding on to them, so I think we're going to probably at least touch new lows, if not put in new lows, but we'll see. All right, bottom wick green up to R2 here. And we already rejected this R2 level once here in pre-market. And then, of course, we've got the ES gap at 40.43 is where we did the settlement close on Friday. Whoa, what is that? All right, big green up to 40.40, R2. Climbing on up. Yeah, so 40.40 looks like that's going to be the first target. We do have 40.60 above that they added back on, and we've got here at 40.50. But this is that first open here, and there's our first rejection of R2 down to the penny almost. And coming off. Looking around here, what we got? Let's take a look at XLF is not really moving. They got some red, some green, but overall flat. I'm going to take a look at the rest of the X's here. XLY, K, XLY is bouncing. Energy's doing the typical bounce. Utilities are falling off big time. So is the rest of the X's here. Mixed bag here on the tech. In fact, Amazon just broke green. Google's green. Meta's green. Everything else is red but trying to go green. And we're hovering right back up here to R2 and going even higher. We got 40.40s coming up, 40.50s higher than that, and 40.60s above that. Look like we're going for a very quick gap fill, which is what I want to see here. Just get it out of the way for more downside before we put in another low on the day. There's R2 coming through R2. Watch out for the pre-market rejection. So I'm going to the pre-market high right here at 40.40, what, 75. I think that was the, yep, 40.40.75 is our pre-market dynamic level that I posted. And already we're 30 points off of the 7 o'clock high, the low there. So, all right, just put in a new pre-market high. Looking like we're going for that gap. We've got a couple of points here, like 2 points before ES fills, and then SPY is almost there as well. Yeah, I think so too, Mohammed. I think so too. I think so too. All right, so there's that pre-market high level we just touched, and that dynamic level I posted, or not posted, but here, let me show you all this. So always with the dynamics, so that's that first one right there, which so I want to pay attention to. You know, that's got the 4 of them, which Friday's lows, which are way on ups, I'm sorry, at 40.53 would be the next one. Right there. Okay. Nice, Wes. Yeah, that's a great book. That's a great book. So, you probably want to read it like 3-4 times. So read it, take notes, copious notes, which is one of the reasons I prefer the hard copy, because I can take a lot of notes on it and like write different colors, underline, highlight, all that stuff, and really capture everything I need to. Especially every time I read it, I learn something different. So I have 40.30 puts. I do think we'll go back down and at least test pre-market lows. I think this is a quick run up, covering positions right up to the gap fill, coming on down. And Kindle, your notes are searchable. Yeah, but the screens hurt my eyes. Just kidding. Do you ever spend any time shorting gappers due to your trading career, or has it been options the whole time? I mean, I've always traded stocks. Yeah, up until about 2, 3 years ago when all this rally, like the options made more sense because I paid more. But yeah, but I've always traded stocks, shorted and bought stocks. Now my options, my stock purchases are pretty much limited to long-term trading, um, and then futures trades. You know, futures kind of fills that gap, and then right now it's just all options. The book was Volume Price Analysis by Anna Coling. Great book. I want to expand my system, which is why I'm asking. Yeah. So you know, with stock purchases, I usually make larger dollar amount purchases because obviously there's less risk involved in terms of there's no theta, and you know, when you're buying at key times, plus you can utilize a little margin, which I do use some margin on stock purchases, that you can, you know, be a little more strategic with things. Plus, you know, when you are in a bullish environment, things always go up. Obviously, you can be a little more aggressive. So that's how I like. I like to play stock purchases in a bullish environment because it's a lot easier than trying to navigate the throes of a bear market. All right, so we're up here at R2 plus the pre-market high. We had a big old top wick, but there's still a lot of aggressive bottom wicks here and climbing on these candles, bullish activity. Amazon is squeezing exponential. In fact, Amazon's almost up 1%. Google's 0.37, Nvidia's 0.26, and Meta is 0.06, and we're going up. There we go, backfilling that red candle, right back up again. Here's another test of the pre-market. This looks like it's going to break it this time. Looks like 40.50 is going to be the first target. So the first thing I'm looking at here is I'm going to go up to 40.50 calls to protect against the puts that I'm continuing to hold, the 40.10 puts. And I'm going to look at 40.50 calls, which are currently priced at about $12. Because if we take out this level, this pre-market level, we'll probably squeeze up to R3 at least. Amazon is straight squeezing, straight up. Let's see here. Yeah, so looking at tech right now, Microsoft is trying to go to a new high. Amazon is straight up. XLF is not moving at all, dead flat. So Google is also trying to put a new high. Tesla. So a lot of gap fills going on here. A lot of buyers activity as you know, we had some significant weakness in pre-market, and the volume is coming in to fill that gap, close out these short positions. Bookmap has got 40.60 to the upside. Top wick that candle right there. Our areas with peaks on the right, areas of interest. So this is look at that nasty reversal right there. QQQ310 possible. Now I don't see that happening today. So we've got 40.60. This is open. This is liquidity right here. So market liquidity. When orders are placed, this is our representation of the big money putting on orders on and off. So I'm looking for here, not necessarily just levels being put on, but how they're manipulated. I want to see how they come on, how they come off, where they shift them to, because that's going to tell you the true strategy of the market, and that's the whole intent behind this. It's not simply just to look, oh, there's liquidity there. It's how it's being managed, how it's being put on, how it's being put off. All right, so that's definitely what I want to see after some bullish short covering, coming right up to R2, the pre-market highs, and yeah, so watch the liquidity. So watch it shift up and down, watch it being taken on and off. So that's that first red candle there. So keep an eye on XLF. You know, XLF is pretty much flat, but they do have a little red right there. See if we could take out the lows. Still holding the 410 puts, which are pretty much break even right now. They're currently priced at what, 860? Now 840. Yeah, IV is a little bit lower than Friday, but higher than it was Tuesday. So what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? They are adding liquidity at 4020, 4005, 4000, and liquidity up top. They still have this 4060 level and 4055. I want to see how that works. And then 4050 is going to be the largest target that's close by for now. A lot of liquidity here. They're putting on a lot right smack dab, right where our price action is. So interesting where they want to take us. XLF is at the bottom of their range. Tech is still holding up the top of theirs. On Friday, you predicted this relief bounce. How long does it usually last for? Just the morning time. When I see this type of aggressive price action out of the gate, one of the two things are going to happen. It's going to rage up, blast at least up to or through the SPY gap, like pretty quickly. It'll be nothing but green, or we're going to have a couple of short squeeze candles out of the gate and then reversal back down. And that's two things. The first one that I talked about, where they just rage up to the gap, is going to be just a traditional gap fill, close out all those open orders to the upside, and it's usually pretty dang aggressive. The second one is just some closing out position short covering, which so far that's what this looks like, is that they're closing out positions. Everyone's short cover. Obviously, it's also the start of the new week, so price action is going to be a little more aggressive than a normal open because this is Monday at the start of the week. So that's what I'm seeing here. Obviously, we had some red candle. We had that one red candle that is now bottom wick to a green, still hanging out here at R2. Overall, just everyone for now, exactly what Trader J just said, keep an open mind right now, at least until the first 30 to 40 minutes of the day are closed. Then we'll kind of know what's going on here. So obviously, the first morning can throw out a lot of volatility. I'm holding the 40-10 call or puts for now because I'm looking for more downside here. They are at pretty much break even right now, which is fine. I'm willing to tolerate that risk for now. And then I'm looking for 40-50 calls to the upside to protect in the event that goes down. Or this continues to go up, I'm sorry. Yes, they do. You have to remember, especially in a bear market, there's no such thing as oversold. So I don't pay attention to oversold indicators in bear markets, especially when we're at the very beginning of a downward trend. It's hard to. I just don't look at that. The oversold indicators don't work in a bear position in a bear market because the selling it's fear. In a bear market, the selling is fear induced, where in a bull market, selling is just market mechanics, a little bit reversal, which oversold works very well. When you're talking strictly about market mechanics, the oversold works very well in a bull market. But in a bear market, the selling is usually indicated by fear or an underlying condition change in the market, which is what happened when JPAL came out on, which the hourly JPAL came out on the symposium and threw down the gauntlet, and that's why we sold off almost 3.5% on Friday. So that's why those indicators don't work. The MACD, RSI does not work. None of that works in a bear market, just because it's fear induced, and you can't really monitor fear. Now, I do agree with you that we've had significant selling, and we probably are due for a relief bounce. I'll agree with you on that, which is I'm trying to see if this little opening buy up that we had this morning is that it, or are we going to rage up and then SPY fill the gap and go higher? So that's what we're trying to look at. Exactly. Because look what happens. I guarantee you. Look at this big move here. So I guarantee you that when we were looking at the March rally and then the rally we had in June and July, everyone that was monitoring RSI was like, we're overbought, and the thing just raged and raged and raged. So yeah, you're exactly right. All right, Amazon's coming off. We're back down to R1 after rejecting pre-market highs in R2. So keep an eye on R2 if we head back up to that area. 460s being trimmed. We got 40-20 being put on here. And let's see what happens. We are back down to a significant level. Keep an eye on that. We're going down, and the 40-20 isn't growing. Well, you're still, depending on where you took that, it's kind of like an exponential ramp up because that thing's outside the money. It'll start getting more and more aggressively profitable the closer you get to that strike. especially on a 0 DTE, assuming that. Oh, bookmap. I see what you're saying. Yeah, we'll see. That's why I'm monitoring. I want to see how this thing's going to act. Now, if you look down, they added 4016, 4010, 45, and then 44 and 4000. I was about to say 4000, but they're adding liquidity to the south, which is what you want to see if we start falling. So, man, I don't want to close out these puts for 10%. I think we're going down here, but the volume came off aggressively here, and I don't want to face this thing going back up to highs. Position management. What am I going to do with this baby? So I'm dynamically in the throes here. Where do I find your R levels? Those are in the Discord under the market analysis channel. And they bottom wicked and flipped that thing down like Missy Elliott. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so big bottom wick on Amazon coming back up. XLF is green. They've got liquidity on, being put down to 40.25. They still have 4,000, 4,005 on. Up top, they still have this 4,050 level, what they keep putting on and taking off. So keep an eye on this. Up to R2. So here I'm keeping an eye on the buy volume here. We never saw a lot of selling influx. We had a nice little dip there. The sellers never really came in. The buyer stepped in, bottom wicked the crap out of it. This is still some pretty volatile price action here, which is the morning stuff. So the morning volatility is holding going into the top of the hour. We're right back to R2. We're right back to pre-market highs. XLF still isn't moving. What are the bonds telling me here? The bonds are selling off here still, and the yields are bouncing back up. So that might cause some more weakness here in tech, as the 2 years coming right back up to the day's highs after they sold off. They're bouncing back up, which will tech usually does not do well when the yields are spiking. Yep, so 40.25 they threw on. We still have 40.50 to the upside though. We have a lot of liquidity here between 40 and 45. Yeah, we got some data coming out here in 9 minutes as well. So let's see if they wipe the book map. So yeah. Still looking at the 40-50 calls, and I'll take if we start breaking out here. Right now we're just chopping in some morning volatility. XLF is starting to come back up here. Nice grubbed. 40-50 calls are currently going for what, about 11 bucks, 10.50? It's flashing all over the place. I'm down 9% on my 40-10 puts, which is well within my tolerance limits, and I will counter those with 40-50 calls in the event that we go up, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do depending on how aggressive the move up actually is. Man, that's a killer yield. I just saw your yield in the food channel, the above. That's insane. All right. So another red top wick here off of pre-market and R2, where they're pretty much co-located. Let's see how they're going to deal with this again. This is the second. This is like the third rejection off of this level. With the call, you're going to throw down a bigger position side hedge. No, because I'm not. Right now these puts are the puts are a 3% position size. So with the calls, I'm not willing to throw down 3% on a call here until I see. Now, if things start freaking raging, where it becomes a complete sentiment change relative to what we saw on Friday and then in pre-market, sure. But right now, I'm not necessarily seeing that. I'm just seeing a cover position up to R2, and then when we go higher from here, then I'll see it. There's still, as bullish as this is, there's still appetite to bring it down until those sellers completely step out. I'll be looking at a larger position on a call. If we hold this range, do you think we'll go back to 41.25? Potentially. I mean, that's only 13 points down. It's not that big. It's well within the chop of the pre-market, but I need to see how they're going to react to this pre-market highs again. We're having some trouble here with volume and getting through the pre-market highs, which is a larger level. We'll need to see what happens there. They still have liquidity at 40.25. We still have liquidity at 40.50 or 40.50. So yeah. Keep an eye on the X's as well. XLE is going freaking nuts, which is oil is also going nuts, which is not good for the market. You can have the market green or you can have XLE green, but you can't have both. XLK is kind of wedging sideways. XLF, all the X's are pretty much doing the same except for XLE. Actually, XLU is trying to bounce back after some pretty big red. And we're just kind of pegged right here. So volume is steadily dropping off here. Volume here, we're coming up again, testing the session high. I still have the 40-50s coming up here. All right, I am banana scalping one of these 40-50s. Scalp until further notice, just because I don't trust this price action here on the 40-50 calls, but that was a big pop up there, slight increase in buy volume, and we'll see where we go. We do have liquidity up to 40-60, going up to 40-50. So yeah, we'll see how this goes here. I just want to protect my position. Increasing buy volume here, and we're coming back up right there. So coming back up, I got a 12-20 fill on the 40-50 calls, and I'm just gonna scalp these and get some profit off the table while we're doing this. $40.44 top wick here. We have buy volume coming in, so increasing buy volume. Plus we have this first big candle that's top wicking, and I've got the finger here, and what are we doing right there? What's that buy volume doing? Volume's still coming in here, but it's still top wicking down. Nice, MF Doom. You probably went less aggressive than I did. There's 13 bucks. There's 12.80. Man, look at that liquidity. So they definitely want 40.60 and 40.25 on there, at least for now. So yeah. Bam, close out calls. Let's try to get that, but all right, so quick scalp for me. Just trying to offset any losses, but the losses here, it's interesting because the top of that candle I was down about 30%. Now I'm down 14%. So one flush and the position will be right back to where it was. Look at that volume, man. So we had that right there. We had a large amount of buyer volume come in, and then the sellers reversed it. So the sellers were able to overcome a large amount of buy interest there. So interesting open. Very volatile so far. They just wiped most liquidity except 40.50 and 40.25. And we're hovering right here. Right back down. And very quickly, yeah. Yeah, VPA, baby. Look at the volume. So big buy volume. Nice, healthy, engulfing green candle. Top wicked, flipped it back down. Little Missy Elliott, baby. So let's see what happens. So I scalped a 40-50 call for like 4%. Now I've got the 40-10 put still on there, down 11% right now. They're slowly creeping back into profitability. Now 8%, now 7%. If we can get one sell back down to the opening range, they would be, again, profitable. I want to put on an SPX call credit spread. Yeah. So let's see. It is now 9 o'clock. That should be two 30-minute candle, or I'm sorry, one 30-minute candle and two 15s. The 5-minute has a big old top wick. 15-minute has got a very undecided candle. 30-minute is a green candle with a large top wick. So the sellers are starting to creep in here. We have data at in 1 minute, consumer confidence. Bam. All right. Red candle. Watch for 40.25. Now, what I really want to see here is 40.50 come off here. So they already removed 40.60, but I want to see this come off here too if we start coming down here. I don't think we're fully going to come off and start blasting 40.25 until they see the northern interest come off. Let me see. I've got the data posted in my data channel. Today we have got Brainerd speaking at 2:15. We've got auctions at 11:30, and the business index at 10:30, which is a no factor. So no factor collateral there. And then we've got so it pretty much stays a no news day. Tomorrow we've got data. I think that's what we're looking at. We have Redbook at 8:55. We got Barkin speaking, which he's not going to say too much. We've got another FOMC speaking at 11 o'clock. We have a lot of FOMC speeches this week. None of them are JPAL, but still a lot of FOMC speech. All right, so red candle right back through R2 here. Yeah, XLE is doing its thing. Just absolutely freaking straight up. 2% on the day. So XLF is not moving, which pretty much leads that tech is what's going to lead this market. This is a tech dance right now. Where we gonna go? Coming off here, we got 40.34. Yeah, this has been a pretty. The volatility is maintaining all throughout the first 30 minutes. The volume definitely came off as normal, but the volatility is upticking here, and we have a couple of nice little red candles here. XLF is right. Google selling back off to the late. Microsoft. Wow, I just missed Microsoft. Microsoft just put in a new low of the day. So Apple's kind of flat. Tesla new low. Google new low. Or I'm sorry, Microsoft new low. Google's trying to put in a new low, and Amazon is still on the moon. XLF is coming back off. Looks like Amazon was trying to catch that rocket today from NASA that was scrubbed, which, by the way, bummer. They scrubbed it. So let's see what happens here. Position is back in the green if you're holding the 40-10 puts. Love to see it. It's a great color. Looks great on you. Good color. Has Hero. Honestly, I don't even have Hero up today. After last week, I lost a lot of faith in the Hero indicator. And it's more of a distraction for me than anything, but I'm still going to track it. I'm not going to push anything on y'all that I do not believe in, and so far I'm not all that, what's the word I'm looking for? Impressed by the Hero indicator. So it's great. It's great information. It's just, it's hit or miss. I'll say that. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible wordsmith. It's terrible. It's like, it's not good. That's all I need to say. There you go. Languager. So, all right, a little bit of red down here to R1. Words are hard. I'm a good math guy. That's it. It's good. All right, 12%. Here's another green off of R1. We still have liquidity down to 40.25. Yeah, buddy. I bought puts on Friday. I bought puts on Friday before the bell. So. For people that exited the puts, what are we looking for here to make you re-enter if you exited? I want to look at tech right now with XLF not moving. This is a tech dance. So tech's leading the way right now. If they start selling off here, then I think it would be a good opportunity to drop back down. So my IQ is 134, but I got horrible grades in English. That's proof right there. There you go. There you go. I love it. Nice IQ. Lee Rat, what's up, buddy? So if we could break down here through R1, maybe we could retrace down through the 50, come down and test S1, which would be beautiful, 40.25, and the selling will resume from Friday. For me, when I'm holding a put overnight, from 0,300 to 1,000, right there, 10 o'clock in the morning, that range scares the crap out of me when I'm swinging puts. Because you've got European Open, which has a tendency to frickin' rage no matter what. And then, of course, you got the morning volatility, which like 9.5 times out of 10 is a green open. Like, if you play a call right when the bell rings, most of the time, you're going to come out profitable. So that like 6 to 7 hour range scares the crap out of me. So we've gotten through that. We've gotten through the European Open. We've gotten through the morning volatility. Now I want to see what happens. The selling volume's starting to creep back in a little bit here. I'm sitting here chillaxing on the 5-minute chart. The sell volume has picked up. We've got a major top wick. We've got some red. We're right smack dab in the middle of the day's range, which I don't want to be looking to taking on positions here right in the middle of the range. We'll see what happens. Amazon's coming back off. XLF is dropping a little bit, but overall, we're not moving so far on this 5-minute candle. We're just kind of pegged here at the 40-30 level. What's up, Patient Purple? How you doing? Is there a reason you look at specific tech stocks instead of just XLK? I like to monitor the big dogs for me. You know, I like to make sure I'm monitoring the action because the tech stocks run the market. If Apple, Apple was rage fest, Apple and Amazon, if they're both going, pretty good idea that the S&P is going to go up. Do you ever lose confidence in my SR levels? No. The only time I disregard my SR levels is when the market is trending heavily one way or the other and it just blows through everything. Because when the hedge funds kick on and we have those strong trends, whether up or down, nothing matters. All supply and resistance will be taken out. I don't care what levels there are. When the hedge funds kick in, and that's what happened Friday. And that's why I said, we blow through S6. I'm not even going to add more S levels because it's just going to keep on going. So, all right, so we got 40.50 still on. They're not adding back 40.60. In fact, they're adding below 40.30 and 40.25, but we're bouncing here off R1 again, creeping back up. Yeah, so the volume is pretty much already left the market here in the morning. Lower volume levels here, but that's this larger candle off R1. They're putting on 5 to 10 point candles, so the volatility is still high here. Just watch the influx and outflow of volume. VIX is down to 26.5. I don't know. Usually when we gap fill like that, it happens pretty quickly, or in a straight shot. And here, the fact that we had a big sell-off there, coming back down to R1, I don't know. I would put a gap fill on a lower probability, but still I'm on edge, and I'm monitoring the 40-50 calls. Hanging out. Let's see here. The delta flow in spot gamma is quite positive. Quite positive. I do. Yep. I'm monitoring ES as we speak. So I make all my decisions off of the ES. So, my charting, I've got the 3 charts that you see on the stream. I've got a 6 chart that monitors all tech. Right now I've got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet, or Google, and then XLF. And then my bottom left, I've got the ES. Yeah, but XLF is not moving. All the X's are red except for E, which is significantly green. and we're still holding this R2 level right here. Now, today's a pretty much a no data day. We've got a couple of bond sells coming up here at 10:30, 11:30, but that's it. Yeah, I pretty much never look. The only time I look at SPX is on when I'm doing my weekly long-term analysis. I'll go flip over to the SPX to see, but I can get all my data from ES just fine. Yeah, Friday was a fantastic day, man. You know, we rode puts all the way down, had a fantastic win. We had the strangled, of course, and then we had that late lotto 100%er right before the bell, which was nice. So trying to continue on the success with today. Trying to get down there. I'm barely red on the swing puts we took, which were obviously disappointing, but managing it, doing just fine. Friday was beautiful, man. Beautiful. I love those days because you make so much money on those sell-off days. There's that IV spikes, killing it. Nice, Naomi. 8.6K is beautiful. Well done. Well done. All right, so the volumes come off here, lower liquidity. We've got a little bit of pop back up here to R2 and pre-market highs. Liquidity finally is being trimmed at 40.50, and 40.25 is maintaining. So overall, this is chop for now. We'll see how we start to break out or break down. Nice double D. I wouldn't add to the position down until I start to see things breaking down. Right now, I'm not seeing it. In fact, I'm going to give these just a couple more minutes here because I don't want to reach the point where theta has destroyed the position so much that I need a large move just to break even, because that starts turning into a gamble. For me, it's still a smart play for me now, but another 2 hours, it may not be a smart play because theta is going to erode that position so much that I'll have to go all the way down to 4,000 just to break even on it, and I definitely don't want to do that. There's 40.40, a little pop there, back up to the pre-market high. We got 40.50 being put back on. So this is the battle between 40.25 and 40.50. They're both being put on, taken off. So which way they want to go is TBD. TBD. I'm still monitoring the 40.50 calls. I scalped them once. I will scalp them again if we continue to climb. We got 40.40. No, I never sell color calls. I don't do it. It's not something I do often. I've done it before. It's not something I do though. I just don't like doing it. In terms of when I'm talking about my long-term holdings, my stocks, my holdings, I'm a very hands-off trader. The way I think about it is the less my hands are on that, the more profitable I am. So coming off. So there's another rejection of pre-market highs, and the bulls have a job to do because once again, that's a big old spike in buy volume that was immediately rejected. So the bulls have a job to do to get this back up to gap fill if that's what they want to do. Otherwise, the sellers are going to step in, flush this back down to pre-market lows, and we'll go from there. I've been trading SPX for a long time. SPX is there's a lot of different. In fact, I've got a YouTube video on my trading list, educational series on why I chose to SPX. So if you don't really know the differences, I highly encourage you to check out that video. But there's a lot of pros for trading the SPX. Mainly for me is commissions. The number one reason for me is commissions. You know, commissions on 200 contracts of SPY, you know, that adds up as opposed to 20 contracts of SPX. All right, so there's another big red engulfing. After significant pop in buy volume, the seller stepped in and reversed it. So again, bearish setup here for the bears. Sellers. I hate using bear bulls, but sellers. Job bears. I got a piece of Polish sausage lodged in my artery. So today, so far, I am leaning bearish, but again, I'm going to look how they pop out of this pre-market high. This level here, we keep on rejecting. Obviously, the bears are trying to bring it down. The buyers are trying to bring it back up. No one has won out yet. If you look on the book map, they're adding 40-50 on and off. You see this thing. It looks like Morse code. Deet, 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 right here. They're putting it on, taking off. Put it on, taking off. Put it on, taking off. 40-25 is holding much more consistently, but still, we're range bound at the moment. So far, chop morning. Chop morning. Coming back up. 40-50 calls are up and ready. We'll see what happens. So there's the settlement closes gap fill for ES. We've already done that. There's a big green candle there off of R2. Coming back up. Yeah. So watch out this level again. There's a big old green. Let's see if this candle holds. Low volume here. Big pop to R3. There's that 40-50 test right there. Right to R3. What do we got going on here? XLF still is not moving. We got a bounce across tech here. Tesla came back up to the high. And another top wick off of R3. Another top wick right there. Look at that, man. So the big buying volume keeps stepping in, and then the sellers just keep whopping it right to R3. We have that 40-50 level that we're dealing with right now. They added 40-60 back again. That they've been taking that off and on too. $40-50 calls. We're currently at 40-47. These are at the money positions. I'll also go with that. Big old buy candle right there through to 40-50. Also going up to 40-60s. There's a first test of R3. Yeah, green's on oil and XLE today. Yeah, there were the two ones that were two names that were big green this morning. Let's see. So what we were talking about on Friday is gap down on Sunday night, a buy up, and then to continue on down. This appears to be the buy up, and we'll see how they act here coming up. We're coming up to the close of 40.53. Some buy volume came in there on that big engulfing green, and now we've got the follow-on candles. We have the bull volume, we've got the bull candle, and now we've got the follow-on. And the flow on Hero is overwhelmingly positive at the moment. Let's see. So we can't put together two strong green candles. It continues to provide red after that. Yeah, tell me about it, lurking. Right to R3. 40.53 is Friday's close. That's that second dynamic level here. We're just putting in higher highs too, so you know that dynamic level on the day has already been popped. But what up, Ape? How you doing? Right now on ES, I've got 4047. So if it's not what you're seeing now, you probably have delayed data. Yeah, the futures data is delayed in TradingView unless you're paying for live data. So they added, they took off 4050. We didn't transact that yet, and they've got it 4060 added in 4065 while they're trimming stuff lower here. So I'm about 2 minutes away from closing out the 4010 puts, and I've got 4050 calls here. Yeah, TVC. The TVC VIX is always the one we want to be looking for. TVC VIX is going to provide you live VIX data. What up, Paolo? How you doing? Every day. Yeah, XLE calls, man, every day. They just go nuts every day. It's crazy. I'm going to switch out to the 60-minute. Coming back up. XLF is coming to the top of their range. Tech is kind of flagging. Amazon and Google's charts look pretty identical. So Microsoft put in a high, and then they went in and put a new low on the day, and now they're right smack dab in the middle of their range. Yeah, I don't use SPY on Bookmap because SPY it's such high volume that it's all over the place. There's a lot of spoofing. There's a lot of level. It really is worthless in my opinion to look at SPY on Bookmap. There's just so much to navigate that I would rather just go over to ES. ES is going to provide you a lot more clarity. Not to mention overall sentiment, because I don't care about retail. I care about the big dogs. Very small candles here, hanging out at R3. I wouldn't say the big dogs don't trade SPY. It's just the fact that there's more clarity because the little dogs aren't trading ES. The big dogs are only trading ES. So for me, I could gauge sentiment a lot better on ES than I can on SPY. Looking at a 42.30, 42.50 call credit spread out to Friday. I like it. I like it. What can you get for that right now? What is that? Can't believe it's already the end of August. Crazy. So 42. So 42.20, 42.50 for Friday. Get 80 cents, so to come down a little bit off that. Yeah. As soon as these hit the market, ES spiked like 25 points. Yeah. Those big dogs were coming in. Look at that, 14 million. Well, so far we are rejecting R3, but very, very small rejection. There's no volume here. The price action is small. Amazon put in a large red, bottom wicked immediately. The buyers are still present. So right now, this setup, we'll see where we want to go. Right now we're flagging. It does look like we might go a touch higher here. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I never try to put too much into things when we're starting the week off because things are go crazy. Obviously, there's a lot of volatility here. We still have volatility going up until an hour. Volatility is finally starting now to die down after we're hitting R3. So we'll see. We'll see. Thoughts on a strike of 400 for 831, which is Friday, or not Friday, it's in Wednesday, for a put. I'll wait for things to break down here. I wouldn't front run that yet. We'll need to see how they deal with this. So if this turns into a trend up day throughout the entire day, I would not take puts for that. But if this is just morning bullishness, closing positions, and we sell back off, yeah, I think it would be a great confidence play. But it all depends on how we deal right now with this. XLF is coming back off. Tech stocks that were there was a lot of green this morning. They're now no longer green. Amazon is only red after, Amazon is only green 0.8 after being green almost a full point. They're down $2 off of their session high. Couple of red candles here, but very small. All right, 40.42. There's a nice another red candle. Where's this trend at? Let's calculate trend. Micro trend has us right now touching trend at R2. So, and they're responding with a small green after that nice little red. And we'll see. Chart link just provides watch list, not charts. Okay. So this is what I got going on right here. So that's what we got for the trend. We actually are in a channel right now as well. So, in fact, I'll add the top trend channel here too. We got this right now. We've got the liquidity here on Bookmap. Right there. So the sellers can't put together two red candles, and the buyers can't put together two green candles. We're just kind of creeping higher and higher, higher lows, higher highs, climbing back up. That is on the 3-minute right here. And then on the 60-minute, we are, let's see, which I always love to track this baby. We're kind of in this opening slight megaphone pattern here that is putting in a higher here, so we'll see. Here's what I've got for the 60-minute. Right there. So another large green after a large red, just chopping back and forth. Yeah, so what I'm seeing on Bookmap here is they're adding back on 30 and 25. So right now it's 40-50, 40-60 to the upside, 40-30, and 40-25 to the downside. And they're putting those on, taking them off. Put them on, taking them off. So as long as I'm continuing to see 40-30 and 40-25 being added and taken off, then I don't want to disregard the opportunity for downside. So Apple's coming back off. XLF is at the bottom of the day. And all the tech is kind of rounding over here a little bit. What's my Discord? The link down in the description of this YouTube channel. So go down there, Discord, and then I can post the link right here. There you go. XLF is finally given out under larger sell volume, which the first place I'm going to are the bonds. Bonds are huge sell-off. Look at that. Bonds just got crushed. Yields are spiking aggressively, so watch out below. Big old red candles here. Did we just have an auction? We did just have an auction. Nope, never mind. That's another hour. Auction's in an hour. Look at that. So the bonds tanked, sell-offs bounced hard, and we just rejected all down. Coming on off. 40.35. New Tier 2 member, wonder what I should learn to build the system you always mention. Well, being a part of Tier 2, you have access to all the Zoom calls. So I would encourage you, watch all the Zoom calls. They are recorded. So go back in, go into the Zoom call channel in the Discord, and you can click on the links and then request access, and I'll give it to you. And ask questions. The tier 2 room is yours. Ask questions in there. Watch all the YouTube content. Watch the Zoom calls you have there. Take part in the future Zoom calls to ask questions. And yeah, there you go. Red candles down to the 50 right here. All right, watch this red candle because it's not bottom wicking so far. Influx of sell volume down to R1. If we take out R1, if you're tier 2, watch out for the next level. And then, of course, remember what I said, 40, 30, 40, 25. Look at this. They removed upper liquidity. They're adding more here. And I said, as long as this is here, I can't disregard the opportunity for downside. And look at this. Right back down to 40, 30 and 40, 25. Smoked it. Watch out for absorption at 40, 30. Big old red candles. Lee Rat's got jokes. He's got jokes. Coming through. And the 40-10 puts are back to break even. Let's go. Come on, take out that level, come back down to pre-market lows, and get daddy paid. That's right. Never chase on an entry. Coming on down. I don't know how these SR levels are like magic. It's just market experience, man. Market experience. I love them. Can't trade without them. It depends. It depends, Saeed. It depends where we want to go. But now all the daddies need to get paid. And mommies. Daddies and mommies need to get paid. Hey, just like that, we're back in the green on the 40-10s. Gotta love to see it. Get through this level, we'll make some pretty good money. Look at that. 40-20 put back on. 40-25 is large. They already absorbed 40-20, 40-32. Let's see if we could absorb 40-25 and then maybe even test 40-20, 40-17. Look at that. 40-10 is being added to. So. All right. Yeah, buddy. So this week I'll be working on the second VPA video. The first one was posted about a week and a half ago. We got the second one coming out this week, so be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited about this, man, to teach this stuff this way. I really enjoy it. All right, so we just wiped out big levels. Now we're coming off. Sell volume's increasing. Booyakasha. Booyakasha. Macro levels are for our tier 2 people. I post them every Sunday night. Last night we had our weekly game plan voice chat for the tier 2. We kind of give out my thoughts, what I'm looking for, and I give the weekly/monthly SR levels. I feel safe when I trade with you. Nice, Kareem. I love it. Do I think we'll go to 39.70? I mean, last night I was saying if we break down, I will look for the 39.60 level to settle. And obviously we're not breaking down. If we break down through pre-market lows, I would say a trend down day, I will say this, a trend down day will lead us to settlement at 39.60. That's where I'll be looking for. Nope, I'm still holding the 40-10s. GTS 197. That was, I think, we did it last night at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern time is when we did it. It's only like a 10 or 15 minute call. All we do is I go over my monthly thesis, or my weekly thesis, what I'm looking for in pre-market, what I'm looking for in the next trading session, and then I go over the SR levels and which one are the big dogs we need to pay attention to. So 40.25 is significant. We're holding right here. I'll tell you this, if we bounce up here, I'm closing out the 4010s. So this is make or break time for Daddy. I'm up 10% on these babies after being down 46% at the high. You know, my patience for these going back up is now gone. Oh my gosh. Now the weekly game plans aren't usually recorded. I just only record the Zoom calls. All right, she's absorbing. All right, here we go. Another top wick red. XLF is jumping down. Coming on. Well, I don't do it often, Oscar, but today, as long as I saw that lower liquidity and my thesis held, I'm holding. So put on a crap ton of liquidity down to 4,000. They got 40.10. They can't quite absorb 40.25 yet because that's a substantial level. But if we do pop through that, we'll watch. If we do absorb 40.25, you'll see a quick jump down to 40.20. It'll be like that blast mode where we jump down. Nice, Saeed. We are approaching the 200 moving apple. Do you put much stock? Yeah, I do. The 200 simple moving average, I focus a lot on the daily chart. The daily chart. The monthly fee for tier 2 is $100, and that gets you the Zoom calls, which are twice a month. Sometime we'll do 3 times a month, but most of the time it's just twice a month we'll do Zoom calls. Not to mention September does start the giveaways. Now that we are pretty much off of Patreon, I'm like that scene in Aladdin where he says, "Genie, you're free," and like the cuffs fall off. I can now do a lot more stuff. So now I can offer some giveaways just to kind of give back to y'all, have a little fun with that. Yeah, so a lot of new stuff coming up to tier 2. Stuffed OM teddy bear. Yep. So it's completely shaved. It's not your traditional teddy bear. It's completely shaved. It just looks like something out of a horror movie, but there you go. Creepy, yeah. Exactly. Yep, you press on the stomach and it says jabroni. All right, so we got some green right here. Can't really break down, but we'll see. So what do we got going on here? XLF or Microsoft is at lows of the day. Can't quite break it. We're hanging out right here at this 40.25 area. We can't quite come down. Why is your E? Yeah, we're gonna have to get him to change that. All right, another red. Watch out for absorption. This might be the move. Watch it. So what I'm looking for here, large red bubble. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. Watch it. I think this is going to do it. Watch it. 3, 2, 1. Slingshot engaged. Half of it's gone. Can we get the other half? There we go. Gone. Absorbed. Now watch for 40.20. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. Another bottom wick. Another bottom wick. 40.20 is below that 40.25 level. All right, I'm up 14% on these. Because this is a 3% position size and I'm not getting the follow through I want, I'm going to go ahead and take off some of these contracts. Just to remove some of the risk. Just because I don't want no scrubs. I haven't whispered a spy in a long time. That's right, I haven't. How much can you make in a year from the options market? It all depends on what your capital is, how much you're working with. You know, it all depends. Yeah, can't be chasing waterfalls either. So, that's pretty much that's two good rules of thumb. If you're chasing waterfalls or if you're getting scrubs, you don't want no scrubs, and you definitely don't want to be chasing waterfalls. So, if you're doing those two things, highly encourage you not to do that. Saw TLC in concert this weekend. I didn't even know they were still touring. Very cool. Oh, cool. Cool. I figure the only scrubs they're getting are the ones that their nursing home nurses are wearing. They got to be, what, 60? Huge 90s, man. Every time I think of them, I think of the 90s. It's awesome stuff, though. I remember listening to them when I was a kid. Nice, nice. All right, so we're coming down here. One bottom wick green. That's not what I want to see after absorption, but they're hanging on here. Let's see if we can come down to 40.20 and maybe even take out 40.10. Crisscross. I forgot about crisscross. Yeah, I remember that stuff, dude. That was like early 90s. All right, we got 40.28. So it came down. We absorbed 40.25 very rapidly, and we can't quite come down to 40.20. Little bottom wick to the green there. Did you think about OM's analogies? I love it. All right, here we go. 10% again. Here's another test of this 40.25 coming down. And we can't quite grit down right there. So, yeah. The flow on deltas did become negative there. Not much. Very small candles right now. See what can happen. See what can happen. Can you touch on why you lost a little faith in Hero? It's all over the place. I don't find consistency in it, and that's the problem. There is a lot of days where the flow is very positive, and we sell off, and the other days the flow is very positive and we'll rage, and then the other way around too. So, although it does provide good oversight to the flow of the options chain, it doesn't provide consistency, which is not something I want involved in my market. And it's precisely why I don't use technical indicators, or I don't rely on technical indicators, because they're not consistent enough. I don't want to rely on something that's only 60% accurate, because it's going to skew my data. It's going to provide incorrect entries and exits. So I usually do screenshots throughout the day, Christoph. I've tried to stream it on the YouTube, but you can't see the lines on it. That's why I don't stream it on YouTube. You can't see it. All right, coming off back down here. 12.9%. Give me something to eat. Come on. Apple is about to put a new low of the day. We got 40.20 new liquidity being added. All right, fine. I'll close half. We're just not getting the movement here. What would you say is hold on, what is this? What would you say is a sweet dollar amount to start off with when starting to trade options? Okay. I feel like it's hard to say successful in anything under 1,000. I mean, you can trade under 1,000. There's not really any $1 amount. It's, you know, it's just giving yourself some capital to trade with to learn. Obviously, the more money you have, the more reps you'll be able to put in. That's all it's about, doing reps. If you've got $1,000, yeah, you will have to, you know, be creative, but you can still do it. No, I only scalped a 40-50 this morning for barely any profit at all, but that was it. So it's doing that aggravating thing where it came down to my break even and it stopped. It aggravates the crap out of me when this happens. Apple's about to put a new low of the day. XLF is flat. Amazon's coming off. Yeah, Viper, 100%. So if you are below 25,000 on PDT for options, please switch to a cash account. You're not doing yourself any good. I promise you, the benefits of having a margin account to trade futures and to trade stocks and call credit spreads and all that stuff, it's not worth it. Your goal right now is to gain consistency with options trading. So switch to a cash account, forget about the other crap, and then trade options with a cash account. 100%. All right, can this candle hold and goes down to 40.20? All right, see if we can pop 40.20. There's a nice little top wick, still holding the remainder of this position. Coming right back off. Look at that. Here we go. Flusheroni. Flusheroni. No, not yet. I am Finitu, which is bussin'. All right, what we got? Would I recommend IBKR Lite? I've never used IBKR Lite. I only use Pro. So exactly. They want them fees, DH. They want them fees. So definitely go with a cash account. What is a macro level? Didn't you just sign up for Tier 2? Someone did. I thought that was you. If it is Tier 2, then go over to the Tier 2 channels, and I'll show you in the weekly game plan channel. All right, there's a nice little flusheroni to 40.20, and now we're coming off. 22% on the puts. I'm about to close about a quarter of these positions. And we're bouncing up again. Look at that nice little level. So we finally took out. Man, look how accurate that was. God, I wish I could show you all this. Apple just put in a new low. Coming on down. 40%. I'm closing out a quarter of it. Stand by. 1. Can I get $12? Can I get $12? Can I get $12? $11.50. All right. Negative. So I closed out a quarter at $11.50. Right there. So we are reaching pre-market. No, we're reaching the morning consolidation lows, but the pre-market lows came all the way down to 4,007. So If we hit 4,007, which now that we're kind of getting down there, I want to be aware of that level. So what was it actually? It was 4,675. 4,675. So we absorbed 4020. We got a little bit of green off of S1 down to the penny on S1, if you are monitoring that level. Coming off. And they top wick that red down to green. Let's go, baby. So coming off. There's S1. Right through how do I join the Discord? What's up, Deborah? If you click on the Discord channel or Discord link in the bottom of this YouTube video, a little description, click on that. It'll head over and then join up. Also, you'll have to sign up to see all the content, which will be on theoptionsmillionaire.com website, which is there and also in the description of the video. I've had a problem in the past couple of weeks of some people signing up for a different server, which is Option Millionaires. Not Options Millionaire, but OptionMillionaires.com. And it's a different service all entirely. They're more expensive and they don't talk to you. There's no one-on-one. It's purely sign up and you get their alerts and that's it. So just be aware there is a different server out there like that. There's another nice little top hook to red. Ron's. I love it. Love it. What's the target on the puts? I am looking for pre-market lows, 4,007. Now, obviously, I've already scaled out a quarter of position, roughly 40%. Fantastic win. Oh, but I just saw they put on a crap ton of liquidity at 40.25. So let's see if that's a spoof or if that's an actual target. But I would love to see 4,007. One, because that's pre-market lows. Two, because we've had a significant sell-off on rejection or on volume. I don't know what this is. Hold on, I gotta answer this. Stand by. Sorry about that. All right, so we are bouncing here off of S1 just slightly. We do have liquidity at 40.25, and then we have liquidity all the way down to 4,000. So we've got our pre-market lows at 4,007, plus we have a lot of liquidity being added down to 4,000, from 40.17 to 40.10 to 4,005 and 4,000. So it's keeping me in the ball game here to come on down. Yeah. By the way, 652 people watching. If you like what you see, hit that like button, baby. Helps us helps the computers turn on, do their little zeros and ones and inputs. Helps gain a little traction. Appreciate that. So a little bit of green candle, top wicking. Please tell me how computers work. Yeah, every computer you buy actually has a hamster wheel in it. And that hamster spins that wheel. And that's how the processor works. Science. All right, so a little top wick here. Still hanging out S1, not much movement. This 40.25 gives me the willies. So we'll see if that's a spoof or not to kind of shake people out. But nice, Damien, 16.48%. Love it. I'm a computer engineer, can confirm hamster wheel. I love it. I love it. Randomly assigned mice. I love it. RAM. All right, so we're up only 20% now instead of the 46% that we had after some green. So he shifted that 40.25 down to 40.22 and promptly absorbed that level. So that was a real level. That was a prime example of market mechanics with people wanting to get filled. So they put that 40.25 on. They weren't getting it filled. They shifted it down to 22, and they promptly filled it. So now he's fat and happy. He's good to go. So what happens with the rest of liquidity now that that big cat is out of the market? We've got 40.17. We've got 40.10. They are removing 4,005 and still have 4,000 on. Oh, it is. It is Daniels. Ordering his chicken palm. That's right. I've got the sell button on about 50% left on this position. I'm losing patience with him. The theta is going to start to hit him pretty hard here in the next hour. So I really don't want to continue to hold this position if this one green candle continues. It turns out to be more than just one green. So look at that big green. Huge response off of S1. A lot of volatility today. A lot of large candles, both red and green, coming off of S1. $40.35, $40.10. Nice, well done. So this one's got no volume. Let's see how we follow up. Green candles across the board. Switching over to the 5-minute for a sec. A lot of red action down to S1. We bounced off S1 perfectly, which if you are checking on YouTube is this level right there. So far it's increasing, but so far it's lighter volume. XLF is rotating back up. Do the levels change daily? Yes, they do. These are the daily SR levels. I post them every morning. So when I do, when I do my analysis every morning, I wake up, I delete all the levels, and I recalculate every one of them. Some are very similar, some are very different. So we're right back to right below R1 here. So no liquidity is being added too higher here. We still have that one remaining 40.60 level. They had that big 40.25 that absorbed, but they still have this 40.10 level to the downside. So I'm keeping an eye on this one, see if it's going to be removed. But right there. Yeah, you might be, Tom. It might be. I know we're all looking for either the re-recovery or the sell-off, but today very well may stop kind of right in between where we closed on Friday and where we bottomed out in pre-market. So, yeah. That was so 2 weeks ago. I love it. What do I use to calculate? Uh, I use a whole bunch of stuff. So the main thing for me, I start out on the daily/weekly charts looking at historical price action. I start to really calculate where the market wants to settle and bounce. And the closer we get to a strong resistance or support, the more accurate the levels are. And then as we're making a transition period, I have to focus more on order flow and more on the volume profile nodes to build a thesis on where I think the market wants to settle and go. Let's see what the 5-minute says here. So looking at the 5-minute chart, the spikes in volume are mixed. So when I'm looking for a spike in volume, not the overall volume, but when I'm looking for a spike on the volume node, I'm looking for, is it mostly, anytime it spikes, is it mostly red or is it mostly green? Right now it's mixed. So every time we have a spike in volume, it's red and green at the time. So there's not really true sentiment at the moment. We just finished the last candle on the 5-minute. We're coming up on another one. All right. Do I ever use ES for the levels? No. I do it the other way around. Just because I've got so much data on SPY leading back a long time, I keep it there to be consistent. Plus, everyone else is doing that too. So, overall, they're so accurate. They're so similar that with the conversion value, it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. Appreciate that, Edgar. Thank you. Another red candle here. Right back down, 24% on puts. Love to see it. So, again, I've scaled out a quarter of the position. I'm looking for another quarter here because we're coming right back to my first exit point. We're at 30% on the puts, but you see, the theta is getting to the point where one candle is having huge swings in profit. I just went from down 3% to up 30% on one candle. My patience for this is waning because I don't want to have like 2 green candles come in and smoke the position again. So I'm going to continue to scale out here. Continue to scale out. I'm going to do another quarter of the position, right meow, on the 40-10 puts. I'm seeing if I can get 12 bucks for them this time. Can we get one more little push down to get 12 bucks? That 40-15 level is not all that strong on Bookmap. We do have 40-10, but S1 is providing to be a little bit of a bear to get through, so to speak. I got $11.10 on the premiums. And I am hungry. We got 21 minutes until European market closes. Had a long weekend, man. Outside all day, sweating my butt off, clearing property. Today the bulldozer showed up. Pretty happy. Nice, PJ. So another bottom wick off S1. That's aggravating. Aggravating. Nice. Look at that bottom wick. Look at that. So, what do we got here? Apple is still putting in new lows. Google did just put in a new low, as Amazon did put in a new low as well. Okay, so we do have this continuation of down. Just hanging out. And just like that, I went from up 32% to 2%. That is what's aggravating there. So. Not really at the bell. It's just like we usually have a move going into that 10:30 time frame, 11:30 Eastern. So we usually have that move going into that, and it usually moves going in there. So we just have to be aware of it. It's going to be something that happens post or after. So when I see this move being made up until 10:30 or 11:30 Eastern, how is it going to affect after we close? Are we going to bounce back up to R3 after market closes? It could. That's why I'm going to start to scale out here. I don't like the continued bottom wicks off of S1. S1 is acting like trampoline here. Oh, nice, Mohammed. Killing it, man. I love it. I remember when you calling out CCSs this morning. Well done. Well done. All right. I'm going to take quarter off. I'm done playing games with this. Let's go 1040. Can I get 1040? Can I get 1020? Let's see here. All right, closed out another quarter at 10:30. Now this is different from my normal scale out procedure, if you remember. So normally I scale out at 50%. I scale 50 and then I do 25-25 or 50 and then like 30-20, whatever. But now I'm doing quarter at a time. I'm doing quarter because I'm looking to see if we can have some movement back down. I'm being a little less aggressive with my scale out procedure. So now I'm down to 50%, which would be my normal first scale out, which I pretty much got nearly the similar entries here. But now I'm still holding half my position, which is still 1.5% of my position of my portfolio. So that's, for me, 1.5% is still a great position size. That is not a runner by any means. I still have 1.5% risk on. If we smoke down to S2, that's a beautiful win. Beautiful win. Doug. I wasn't whistling Doug. That was Notorious B.I.G. That was hard. Thanks, someone say. Appreciate that. That's the whole point. Notorious D-O-U-G. I love it. I bought them last week, Friday before the bell. I bought them. I just swung some puts over the weekend. Not something I normally do, but I had high confidence that we were going down today, which is also why I took a 3% position size instead of a 1%. 3 days back so far, 3 green days. Coincidence? I think not. Love to have you back, John. Now let's keep it. Let's make sure that we're learning from our past mistakes, and let's keep that green. Small position size. Don't play too aggressive on your strikes. Don't go for home runs. I scalped a call this morning, but so far I'm just holding my puts for profitability. I got 3% risk on. I don't need to trade anymore. I'm about to hit 40% of a 3% position size. I don't need to trade more. So I'm looking for if we can break down through S1 here. I noticed the Zoom call you had, TTM scalp indicator. Do you find it helpful at all? No, I turned that off. I'd throw it on there just to see if it provided any value, but no. No. I still use a TTM squeeze on the daily chart, but I took off the scalp indicator. I was just curious what it did. Good question, though. 10% on your first ever SPX play. Nice, Jimmy. All right, look at bookmap. 4010 looks like the overarching target here. That's the big interest level, which was just above pre-market lows. Oh, is it UK? Is it a holiday in UK today? Let me see. What holiday is it? I'm curious. DAX open, no UK. Okay. Well, maybe that's why that we didn't have that big normal green bounce at the UK Open. Apple just put in a new low. XLF is still holding up the S&P, but tech is starting to round over. We do have a little bit of a divergence here. We've got ES is only down 0.87. The NASDAQ is down 1.3. So a very bearish day on the NASDAQ. The ES is trying to get there, but XLF is still holding up. A couple other X sectors are now XLU just went green. So a big old huge pop in XLU. So a little bit of green popping into some of the X sectors, which is kind of holding up the S&P relative to the NASDAQ. So theta is really starting to hit this position big time, which means I'm looking for an exit. I'm about to pull the ripcord. Any indication of what will happen this week? It really depends on today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow I'm looking for red, and then possibly some relief into Wednesday, Thursday. But we'll see. We have CPI coming up in a couple of weeks. CPI, and we've got FOMC. And so it's going to be another volatile week. And month. We did not have FOMC in August, so that volatility trigger was not there. But now we definitely have that in September, and we'll see based on what he said at the symposium. I'm very interested to what's going to happen this FOMC, and I will be playing a little Strangle-Roni going into that event, especially after what he threw down on Friday. Well, they are now a 0 DTE position that is still 15 points outside the money, and we're already 2 hours into the market. So theta is going to start really hitting this position. to the point now where, I mean, it's break even right now, and we fall off since R3. So it's either way. I don't want to get in the habit of holding a 0 DT position, waiting for a move in the money, because that's where you get yourself into a big position. I'm sorry, big losses. I did Star-Lord, yeah. I think Lurking Larry asked me. The red and blue dots, those are stops in the iceberg indicator. That's a stop and iceberg indicator. Love y'all. They are. Beaumont. They are. Puts all September. That's what I'm anticipating, but obviously I took Friday's play on a higher confidence than normal. Unless I see those setups, I'm not going to continue to swing positions. I need confidence for me to swing positions. It has. I'm still getting used to it, Viper. I'm still learning it, getting used to it, see the nuances of it, how it acts. But we'll see. You know, I'll trade it. I'll trade it for 1 or 2 months, see how it acts, and then if it's no value add, then I'll take it off. Same thing I do with everything. Could today be a range day and tomorrow? Yep, I think so. So far, that's what it's looking like. And we do have Euro close in 9 minutes. Well, they're I guess the DAX close because the UK's already closed. But we got this little Amazon just put in a new low just now. Google did as well. Apple's not quite fallen just over yet. But overall, slow movement so far. XLF is green and climbing, which is providing this divergence between the S&P and the NASDAQ. So, alrighty, what do we got? 40.28. Let's go to 40.40 calls. Yeah, XLF is going. The price action is green, not overall, but the price action is green. So here's 40.20, 30, 40.30. They're trying to transact. What I don't want to do is let the remainder of my position make this an overall losing position, because right now I'm green. I'm very green. Super green. But anything above here, it's going to start to really eat into my profits, which I don't want to happen. So I've got my 40.10 put order form up and ready to close out the remainder, and I'll close everything here. There's no scaling out from here. If this goes up, I'm closing all of it. I'm just going to be done with this position, and I will reposition. Coming back up, 40.30. Big old green candles. Let's see what's going on here. What do we got? VIX has dropped from 26.40. XLF is still bouncing up, so XLF is providing this jump. Huge volume on XLF coming in. Big green on XLF while tech is still falling. So we've got this top liquidity and nothing's being added to the north. If you see this, there's not anything being added up here. We do have this 40.35 and then this 40.10's coming on and off, but right there. So yeah. If tech rotates up with XLF, we'll blast right back up to R3, which is I do not want to be a part of that at all. What do we got? What do we got? Lily Dallas Multipass. That's a great movie. I don't know why that movie was so good. Like, it's not something I would probably normally enjoy, but I really enjoyed that movie my whole life. 640. Tech is still dropping. XLF is still beast mode. All right, I close out the remainder of my puts. Out. I'm done toying with those babies. I've made my money on them. That is not a position I normally like to hold because of theta. Theta is starting to hit him so hard where one or two candles and the position is destroyed. I do not want to be getting the habit of holding that position, especially at 1.5%. So that's fine. If they go back down, I'll add a 40-20, something a little closer to money that's not quite hitting on theta. So that's fine. Those were outside the money positions, which did go in the money, but unfortunately we got the bounce. I can always get back in. That's right. So let's see what happens. Got some green here, 47.30. We got, ooh, I got a little red there. Look at that. Look at that. So keep an eye on things. I'll look at 40-20s if we come down. 40-20s. Right back down. That's a big old lever right there. Holding Amazon puts that took a one scale race to be a holding direction. Can you shed by looking at it? Yeah, let's take a look. Man, look at that. Right when I freaking close the rest, it drops back down. That's all right. Still made money on them. Amazon's coming off. We have liquidity of 128 and down 128 below. 128.50 and then 128. So their levels are, their pull is definitely lower here as well. So we'll see how that. They just absorbed that 40.28 level. And then a little bottom wick. Well, thanks, Ape. Well, let me know if you have any, if you need any questions, if you have any help. If you need any help, you have any questions, let me know. That's why we're here. So we got what? Macro level 1027. How much of a learning curve is it for Bookmap? Uh, Learning curve. I mean, everything, just like everything, it does have a learning curve. With this one, it does take time to get used to the nuances of it. So, I've been using this for going on 6 months now. It's provided a phenomenal amount of value. In terms of adding a tool to my system, it's been the biggest value add I've ever added anything to my system in terms of a tool. Obviously, you still need to develop a system. You still need to develop market awareness. But this one, the way it acts and the way I can monitor liquidity being actively manipulated, to me, is priceless. I think it's well worth the money. Not from your broker, but that Bookmap is a standalone product. So you need to be able to pay for the data streams. You could do DX feed, you could do Rhythmic. There are a bunch of other feeds, but I have DX feed and Rhythmic. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if they could do it because of the data that's required. But yeah, just about, Jenny. Yep. How are my screens set up? Are you watching the same overlays as for trading? Yeah, so I've got 3 screens. I've got two 34-inch monitors, and I've got one. In fact, if you're in the Discord, I posted it down in the trading in the trading screen station setup. But I've got 3 monitors. I've got two 34-inch widescreens, and I've got that 49-inch Samsung widescreen. And I've got obviously I monitor the screen that y'all see, and then I've got a screen with 6 charts on it that's got all the tech stocks, and then I've got ES. And then I've got all my streaming software and all that stuff. All right, so a little bit of red coming off here. They're adding 4010 back on. But I'm going to give this another few minutes here and go grab me some breakfast or some lunch. Opposite day for me. Tell me about it. Oh, nice, yeah. Look at that big old bottom wick green. Dang. So look at that stop right there. They just set that big stop at 4, large up there above us. Transact that under increased volume, right to 40.33, and look at that big old paparoni. Big old green on Amazon XLF. Just had a bond auction kick off at 11:30, 10:30. Bonds are still selling off. The yields are still bouncing. That was a big little bounce there. So good exit on the puts. I'll take them. All right. So let's take a look at 40 calls. You and me both, Sol. You and me both. Especially in this market where there's a huge opportunity to take advantage of massive days like Friday or the big run-ups in June and July. There's no need to fight the chop. No need. So I wait for those big days and then pull the trigger, man. It's good stuff. Nice, Heap Hop Anonymous. Well done. 4 for 4. How's Mariah doing it? Didn't she do like 487 for 487 on Friday? It's beautiful. I love it. I love to see y'all winning. Spreads good. Spreads are good in this chop, yeah. But for me, you got to be very accurate with those entries because you can get breached in a second. Would you recommend getting bookmap if you're not consistent yet with playing with small size? If you have no consistency, then the bookmap's not really going to help you. It might provide some insight for you, but to me, I need you to develop a system first. I need you to develop a good understanding, an entry-level understanding of what you're doing and not just guessing, and then you can add in bookmap. Don't get me wrong, bookmap's amazing and it provides amazing insight, but it's still a tool. If you have no idea what you're doing with wood if you're a carpenter, then the best hammer on the market's not going to help you be a better carpenter. It's just going to help you nail a nail better, but you still need to know what you're doing. So you need to know what you're doing. Just like carpentry is a craft, trading is a craft. You need to know what you're doing before you start adding all these fun tools. Right back to R2. Man, I'm happy I'll close those puts. Good stuff. All right, so this thing is coming back up. So here, remember what we talked about? European market close. Are we going right back to R3? Well, I think we have our answer. European market closes, that volatility releases, right back up. Or the DAX, I should say, closes because the UK is not open, but the DAX closes, right back up. At 10:30, man, that 10:30 level, we got to we always got to pay, or 11:30 Eastern, we got to pay attention to that level. XLF is going bonkers, man. They're about to go green on the day. New high of the day for XLF. Financial markets going nuts. The bonds and the yields, I monitor them through TLT, through the US 30Y, US 10Y, US 2Y. Those are the 2, 10, 30-year yields. I monitor investing.com. If you go to investing.com/economic calendar, you'll be able to check all the pertinent data and events right there for the U.S. market, or any market for that matter, for any market here. So you could do any kind of all the global markets, or you could filter out to just United States, whichever. What am I looking for here? Break out a chop. Right now, we're just in a choppy day. We've got about a 30-point range, which is a nice range to play with. But we got liquidity up to 40.50. We got liquidity down to 40.30, and all around. Do I also do some swings? Yep. In fact, I just closed the swing position we took over the weekend. It's good stuff. So good ways to look for confirmation slash breakout rather than front running to capitalize on a position. Yep, VPA. When I'm looking for confirmation, and remember, there's two ways to make a trade. There's two ways to enter. You could front run it, or you can wait for confirmation. And all it is balancing risk. If you front run, more risk, more profit. If you can get confirmation, less risk, less profit. It's a give and take. So if you are looking for a confirmation slash breakout, you have to wait for the price action. And there's three parts for the VPA. You've got the price action, you've got the volume, and then you've got the confirmation candle. Those are the three things. Obviously, waiting for that confirmation candle, you're waiting a little bit, and if you are looking for a trend, you're going to enter on that trend a little bit later, but you're going to get more confirmation, you're going to have more data to analyze, and you're going to give up profits to do that. So what I'm looking for, if we want to go up to, say, R4 today, we just, again, bounced off of this little rejection zone. We also have R2. So we just rejected pre-market highs again, which is right at R2. So we had a big bull candle. Then we had a big bull candle form on the follow-on, but it rejected, flipped red, and closed with red volume. So that is a failed breakout from a bull perspective. So I'm not looking for calls just yet. So you have to monitor those three things. Can you front one with a very small position and scale? Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. That's a great way to do it, actually. 1990 for Bookmap lifetime membership. Is it worth it to save up and get that? Me personally, I will always use Bookmap. I will always use it. I think it's a fantastic tool to add. Plus, obviously I'm doing this every day. This is my life. So if you're not fully invested, then don't spend that kind of money on a tool. If you are fully invested and you need something to give you a little bit more edge, then I think it's very much worth it. If you've got a $1,000 account, I don't recommend spending $2,000 on a lifetime membership. If you've got a $300,000 account, I highly encourage you to spend $3,000 on that lifetime membership because you'll save money in the long term. If it comes down to spending $2,000 on a tool or $2,000 to put in your account to learn, I think you need to take that money, put it in your account, and learn through actively trading, getting reps in. Exactly, Tome Trades. Exactly. EU is preparing power market emergency intervention. Look at that red candle. So they added 40-40 on that dump. They got 40-20 and 40-10. I have a medium-sized account, but I'm thinking about saving up profits to get it. Yeah, and I always love funding those purchases with profits. I love it. The best feeling in the world is when you take money out of your account to buy something you want or need. It's amazing. You generated money out of thin air. Tell me about it, Viper. Nice, J Chuck. Beautiful. Isn't that a great feeling? It's like trading osmosis. So, tier 2 knows why we're bottom looking there. All right, red through here, 40.27, coming down to S1. Choppy. 15 minutes, I'm going to grab lunch. So let's see what happens before then. XLF finally came over, which dumped the S&P. We still have a 0.5% divergence between the NASDAQ and the S&P. What do we got going on here? Looking at 40-20 puts, and I'll switch to 40-40 calls. So 10 up, 10 down still. Look at that. Bottom work that off that. All right. Anybody have any questions so far? Anything I can answer while we're waiting for some movement? You're gonna set, yep. So I'll set alerts. What I'll do is I'll set probably 40-40 and 40-20 for alerts. And then I'll set a volume alert too. That'll give me an influx of volume. And I'll give me a price action alert. No, I was just looking at those are the contracts I'm looking at. So right now if I take a trade, it'll be either 40-40 calls or 40-20 puts, 10 up or 10 down. I use Lux, volume profile Lux. That's the one I've switched to. I love it. It's very accurate. It doesn't glitch out on me. I don't have to reset it 87 times. Have I ever looked at setting my levels before the overnight sessions? No. Because I want to capture as much data as possible, and the pre-market data is very important. So, man, a lot of pings right there. Holy crap. Hold on a second. When you say low volume, is it relative to last candle? It's relative to last candle and the current day. With a small account like myself, would it be safer to play 3 to 5 DTE? I think it's more important with experience. Holy crap. It's more important with experience than account size. However, usually if you've got a smaller account, I'd say you're probably newer. I don't know. I'm just assuming. But yeah, always, I would highly encourage you all to not trade zeros. I trade zeros because I trust my system very much. This is the best I've ever traded in my 11 going on 11 years of trading. So I encourage you all, do not trade zeros unless you are highly, highly confident in your system. Even if I'm posting zeros, that doesn't mean you need to be trading zeros. So trade ones, trade twos, trade 3 to 5s. That'll allow you to stay in trades longer, identify price action more clearly, not be as emotional, etc. There's a nice little green response here from the bulls, from the buyers of large accounts. So, do I have a drawdown? Do you mean do I lose? Yeah, absolutely. I had 3 losing days a week and a half ago. Three days in a row I lost. I lose. It happens. This is the market, baby. I'd be options trillionaire if I never lost. Don't ever let anyone tell you they don't lose in this market consistently. If you have someone tell you they go weeks and weeks and weeks without a loss, then I will show you someone who's completely full of crap. I don't care how many followers they have on Twitter. All right, what else we got? Highly read. What's up? How do you set alert on volume? Okay, so if you go down to your volume profile, or not your volume profile, the volume indicator, the red and green bars at the bottom, and you right click, you can set alert for volume. So add alert on volume, and then you can adjust it. You can add whatever volume you want. You could do it, whatever custom volume amount you want. That's what I do. A lot of traders are sold a new pipe dream. Absolutely. Trading is incredibly difficult, and it drives me nuts when I look on Twitter and I say, "Yo, brah, this is so easy, brah. If you ain't making killing, you losing, brah, bussing." All that. I hate that. It drives me nuts because it's a bunch of nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've been through some pretty difficult situations in my life, and this by far and away is the hardest thing I've ever done. Drawdown is when you make an entry. Does it go down? Oh yeah, yeah. So you can't if you're especially if you are trading zero DTE contracts, you cannot think that when you take a transaction, when you execute a transaction, that it's always going to go green and stay green. That's very rarely the case. Very rarely do I take a trade and it just goes green and stays green. You're going to have to deal with some loss, some red, and then before it goes back into green. But that's where you have to set your line in the sand where I will not hold a position to this amount of loss. The Obi-Wan to your Kenobi. Yeah. Nice, Mariah. 7 for 7. Killing it. I'm not sure. That's all I did is add it, and then it works. I'm not sure. Mariah's killing it, man. I love it. Beautiful. Yep, Burton. That's the right one. Oh, yeah. Ask questions, Frank. That's why we're here. Frank. One of my nephews took an online course for $50 now. Thinks he'll maybe make 100K a year. Try to warn him. They all do. I mean, I can't fault him for that because when I first started, that's what I thought. All new beginners don't. The people that begin in this market don't truly understand how difficult this is. They don't truly understand the mountain they have in front of them. When you're starting out as a trader, you think you can climb Mount Everest when you can't even walk up the hill beside your house. Like that's how difficult this is. You're trying to climb Everest when you can't even walk up the hill. So you need to learn to hike before you can hike, Mount Everest. I'm awesome with by the way, if you're new, I'm awesome with metaphors. So keep on. I got them coming. So when you jump in here, like you think you're gonna rake in the money, you think you're gonna make 100 grand. It's just not the case. You're gonna get whopped. It took me 3 years, Gremlin. I don't super econ. Just because we just exited consolidation, I don't think we'll be looking at 7 to 10 days. I think maybe a day or two. If you had to say how much do you think you might be able to make off a grand, you're obviously a good trader, hypothetical, but if you absolutely had to, what would you do with that $1,000 if you had to only trade options? I would trade outside the money, close dated SPY options. That's pretty much your only. I would be very wary going for low liquidity stocks like the outside of the S&P because that's a lot of volatility and you're going to get hurt trying to trade low liquidity stocks. So I would stick with SPY. If I had $1,000, I would go close enough to the money and further enough out where I can maintain at least 20% position sizing with the S&P. And I would trade that. I would go for, 1% a day. I would try to hit the second I hit 10, 20 bucks a day, I would close. 10, 20 bucks a day, I would close. Maybe if I can get to 100 bucks with a 10% win, I'd close. And just go there. And I would nibble, and it would take me months and months until I finally got to $2,000. And then I would slightly increase my position size and do the same thing. So in another couple of months, I could get to $3,000 and slowly do that. Nibble. Because that's going to allow you to learn to get reps in. Because if you full port, you're going to lose. 100% you're going to lose. And you're not going to get any reps in. That's the problem. You're going to get blown up, and you're not going to have any trading experience because you're not going to get enough reps in. Well, if you are talking about spreads, I do recommend, if you can trade SPX, then definitely do spreads on SPX, not on SPY. There's no assignment risk on SPX, which is great. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with assignment if you have the capital to cover that. But the problem is, if you're trading SPY, the most likely that you don't have the capital to cover an assignment. So I encourage you to do SPX because there's no assignment risk, there's no pin risk on SPX. Nice rocket. The reason why people blow up their accounts is because they overexpose themselves while they're learning. If you're doing 20 to 30 to 40% position size while you're learning, you're going to get blown up. That's why everyone's going to blow up multiple accounts because they just don't reduce their position sizing enough to learn. You have to get through the learning transition before you can start being profitable. Uh-oh, we got a little spam in the chat. Yeah, for sure. What do you mean by there's no assignment risk on SPY? Well, SPX. SPX is a cash settled position. It's a cash settled position. So when the market closes, the only thing that settles is cash. Whereas in SPY, when you're settled, you can be settled in shares, which is assignment, which you don't want to happen unless you can afford to do so. So big green up here to 40.40. They got liquidity up to 40.50 and then, of course, 40.60. They just removed 40.69 and brought it up to 40.75. Ooh, look at that order at 40.75. Y'all are talking about that. You're ahead of me. God, look at that. If they go to 40.75, that would be interessante. Muy interessante. Look at that. Yep, right now we're just consolidating. The red and green bubbles, this is Bookmap. So I'm looking at these red and greens are the order flow in the market. So this is what we're looking at transacting right here. Not in a long time, Ape. Not in a long time. I'm super red because we rebounded. Should I close the position for a loss or I have SPX 40-30 puts? It depends where you took them. Assuming you're 0 DTE, assuming You took those early, you're probably heavily down on those. Right now, I'm starting to see liquidity shift higher, which does not bode well for more downside. But we'll see. We'll see. Draw you a line in the sand, not based on your profit and loss, but based on the charts. And that's where you want to exit if we close over that. Why not trade NQ? I just don't. I like to focus on the S&P. Well, here's the deal. If I was holding that position, and I don't know when you entered, I don't know, how much you put on, whatever. But if I was holding that position, I would be looking for an exit pretty dang quick because this is a swing high. This is the current swing high. If we close above here, chances are we're at least going to R3, and that will really destroy your position. So, and then by the time we curl back off and come all the way back down, that position is going to be so far degraded by theta and delta that you're not going to be profitable unless we have a huge move down. Starting to believe some of y'all just want me for my book map. It's only one thing y'all want, and it's disgusting. I'm just kidding. Look at this green up to R3. All right, what do we got? Man, that's a big old popperoni. Up to 40.60. Right to R3. All right, we take out R3. Man, that 40.75 liquidity looks likely if we take out R3. Interesting. Limit orders. Bitcoin is strong today. I saw them sell off big time overnight. Rate hike probability to keep going up. Yep. Man, look at this move up to R3. Gah. Smoking it. XLF is going freaking nuts. Absolutely exponential. Absolutely exponential. If we break out here, 40 50s. All right, so we took out that swing high. And once we took out swing high and closed, R3 was probable. Came up there, touched that. If we take out the high of the day and close high of the day, R4 will probably happen, which will be roughly the gap on the S&P. So R4 would just about fill the gap from Friday. Crazy move. So look what happened, man. European markets closed, we bounced, now we're coming right back up to R3. Rejection off R3. All right. It's a bad day to trade? Not really. If you could ping the tops and the bottoms, this is a good range. This is a good range. I'm straight up confused about the assignment talk. How would you be assigned on an SPY call in the first place? When we're talking about writing premium, you write premium in that position. Well, I want to be careful here because technically you can be assigned at any time for any reason. When the liquidity provider wants to be able to execute his positions, he can do that. So if you're writing premium on SPY, and you can be assigned at any time. However, more normally you're looking at those things go in the money. So if you're closing at or in the money, you could look at being assigned. And that's a problem because if you don't have the capital to cover that assignment, it can be a problem for you. So that's the problem. So when you're doing SPX, there is no assignment of shares because there are no shares on SPX. It's cash settled. So whatever the price is at the settlement is what you settle with cash. You settle with the liquidity provider for the cash. What's up, Trader Day? Right here at off R3, they removed pretty much all substantial liquidity except this 40.75 level, and they've got this stuff that's 40.50 and 40.40 that's kind of bound above and below. So no volume L2, can't be purchased, cash settled. Not subject to wash sale. Yep, those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. So tax benefits is 60/40. So, make sure, well, tax advantage, you already got that, yeah. But to clarify, it's 60/40. So, coming up here to R3. They removed down the 40/30 stuff. They've got 40/50, 40/40, 40/60, and of course this big dog at 40/75 that was put on roughly at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock Eastern. So about 15 minutes ago. Oh, nice, Red. Sometimes it could work out. People can make money on assignment as long as you get the price action that goes back your way. It's not always a bad thing that people put a negative connotation on assignment because they don't have the funds to cover the assignment, and it puts them in a margin call. What do you mean by 60/40? Not familiar with that one. 60/40. So SPX is 60/40, which means your profits are treated as 60% long-term, 40% short-term. Whereas SPY, it's 100% short-term. Yeah, it's never good when you put yourself in a margin position you can't cover. So. All right, so we're coming back off here. XLF. Been watching and listening for a long time. Just wanted to say thanks for their education. I have a $400,000 account, which I grew 30% in a bear market. Dang, look at that. Amazing. Thanks to you, I didn't have to blow up my account first to learn this. 400 would have been a hard lesson. Oh, nicely done, man. Beautiful. So you have a $400,000 account that you grew 30% on top of that, or you grew it to a 400 from a 30% increase. Either way, phenomenal. So well done. Amazing stuff. So now, I encourage you, do not increase your position sizing. You grew 300, you grew 30,000, assuming you started out with 40,000, let's say that's $120,000, that's 30%. You made a phenomenal amount of money this year in a bear market, which is, in my opinion, 2022 is the hardest market I've ever traded, which is why I hold it as my holy grail of trading, because I've made more money this year than any other year before outside of the 21 market. So, well done on you. Don't increase your position size, and now your goal is to keep that money, especially as we transition to the next move in the market. Don't get blown up. Well, did you overposition yourself, Saeed? I want to make sure we're doing things right. Trader J. I bet Trader J is like a 9-figure trader. He's in here playing with us. He's like, watch these jabronis. Execute. Yeah, people said they can't rewind the YouTube for some reason. I'll see if I could switch that back. Hold on. Uno momento. I've got it on. Live chat replay. No, that's for the chat, I guess. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm about to go to lunch. I'm seeing if I need to take a put here. I'm inclined to do so. I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of tech has recovered, but we are bouncing off R2, which is also, I'm sorry, R3, which is also the Friday close. After listening to you on PC, I don't counter trend trade. Yep, counter trend trade. If you do counter trend, you got to be in and out quick. So right now, we're not really in an overall trend on the day. We're in a consolidation. If we break out of R3, we will be in an upwards trending day. So short term, we are in an upwards trend. On the daily, we're in a consolidation. So you do with that information what you will. But right now, I'm bullish on lunch. VIX has been rounding over all day. Fill that gap almost. Bam, look at that new late morning high. We're about to put in, test a daily high. I don't know, man. I'm considering puts, but I see more upside here than downside. We're about to absorb 40-50. All of tech is rounding up along with XLF. So now we have correlation between the financials and tech. Tech is rounding up. XLF is going freaking crazy. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. I'm starving. We got a green day so far. Definitely a consolidation, although we're in a good 25 to 30 point range. So there are opportunities to trade here. Let's see if we can capitalize here in the afternoon. We do have 40-60 to the upside. On the low side, we've got 40-40 and a little bit here back at 40-32, which we've taken on. Otherwise, we have just the 40 and 50 levels. So I haven't had lunch since yesterday, so I am going to go do that. Let me know if you have any questions. If you are new to the YouTube, come over and join the Discord. The links and the information are down in the description of the video. You can shoot me a DM anytime. If you have any other questions, please post them in the room and ping anybody so we can all learn from your question. Otherwise, I will see you all late this afternoon, right before Power Hour, or if volatility picks up, we'll jump on a little before. Also, the new podcast episode was posted this morning. If you didn't see that, it's a technical episode, more so it's a little change up on what we normally do. It's about the dollar, the rising dollar, and what that means for you. So check out that podcast over on Spotify. The name of the podcast is Making Millionaires. Search for that, and you should be able to find that. Otherwise, I'll see y'all later. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. See ya.